Good morning and happy Friday. Today is January 30th, end of month. Hard to believe we're here. And today's message is Hope, the Anchor of the Soul. We'll be in Hebrews 6:13-20. But first, our prayer. Father, as I read and receive your word, may it deeply be rooted in me. So when difficulty comes, it will be your word that encourages and strengthens me. So 6:13 is here. And the message here, the title is God's Promises Bring Hope. For example, there was God's promise to Abraham. Since there was no one greater to swear by, God took an oath in his own name, saying, I will certainly bless you richly, and I will multiply your descendants into countless millions. Then Abraham waited patiently, and he received what God had promised. When people take an oath, they call on someone greater than themselves to hold them to it. And without any question, that oath is binding. God also bound himself with an oath, so that those who received the promise could be perfectly sure that he would never change his mind. So God has given us both his promise and his oath. These two things are unchangeable because it is impossible for God to lie. Therefore, we who have fled to him for refuge can take new courage, for we can hold on to his promise with confidence. And actually, I got a couple more. This confidence is like a strong and trustworthy anchor for our souls. It leads us through the curtain of heaven into God's inner sanctuary. Jesus has already gone in there for us. He has become our eternal high priest in line of the Melchizedek. Okay, so today's message. An anchor was a proper image in the ancient Mediterranean world because that economy depended on shipping. The anchor symbolized safety and steadiness. The writer of Hebrews used the word to remind believers that God has given us a hope that holds firm in any storm. Hope is a healthy attitude. Anticipating good brings comfort to the mind and heart. In contrast, hopelessness is painful. It's overwhelming and depressing to think that what you're facing cannot improve. For the person who has lost all hope, life feels like an endless dark tunnel. Included in Proverbs is a verse that describes the result of this oppressive feeling. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. But with our eternal and all-powerful God, no situation is hopeless. In him we have a promise of the second half of that proverb. Desire fulfilled is a tree of life. Believers have a hope that anchors their soul. Our relationship with Jesus brings us close to the throne of heaven, where we can cast all our burdens before the Lord. Moreover, we can cling to him through any trial that comes our way. He lights that darkened tunnel and tenderly guides us through trying situations. So I had a few things running through my mind as I was reading this part of it. And it's and also in the Bible verse where it talked about peace. And I have to say, when I'm in the Word or I'm being that way, how peaceful I actually feel. But when you're not like that and you allow feelings and things to control you, how unpeaceful you are. Let's use yesterday as an example. I got really ticked off at the post office yesterday because I was waiting for a spot and I pulled in. I put my four-ways on because someone was getting ready to leave, and people didn't like that. And the honking and the mean faces and the rolling down the windows to say something. And the side of me came out that shouldn't. I got out of my car and I'm like, you got something you want to say? I shouldn't have done that. I should have just waved and just kept at it and kept the peace. But I didn't help any by letting that side of me come out. You know, it's like, and then words came that shouldn't be said. Anyway, so there's that I'm not perfect. I still have those battles. And that at which I failed yesterday miserably. Maybe it's because I don't know. I have my thoughts on that I don't know. I don't really want to say them out loud, but because the words can't come to my head either at this moment of why, but I can imagine them in my head. So we're supposed to have this peace. My anchor wasn't in God at that moment. I should have just let it be. and then had some peace because right there was a storm going on. I couldn't believe how busy it was. I was just like, what? And they don't have enough parking at this place. They have more of the handicap parking than normal customer parking, which I didn't realize until I was trying to find a parking spot yesterday. And I couldn't understand it because all those spaces were open. It was really amazing to see that. So a lot of people were testing their patience, and it kind of was, that was the storm there. The other things I thought about in here where it talked about hopelessness is painful, it made me think of people who feel suicidal and depressed, and they feel that there is no hope. Overwhelming, and they feel like it can't improve. I've been there. You just in a cloud, and you can't see the hope. And it made me think of people who are depressed and who are suicidal, I should say, and they make a permanent decision for a temporary feeling, for a temporary situation, or a temporary time, whatever the case word you want to put in there. And that's something that's always rung true in my head for these people that unfortunately do fall victim to it. So that made me think that. I'm not trying to go Debbie Downer, but that's what that made me think of right there. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but the desire fulfilled is a tree of life. And that's really accurate there. So hope is the anchor of the soul, and that is so true. You always have hope. You always believe it's going to get better. And I've said that to myself, And I don't want to get too deep. Some other things came in my head, but I don't really want to say them right now. But I hope you have a great day and a blessed day, and have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.